didn't even get to cross.
In his peripheral vision, Wai-Yung sees the figure of his father, who is lying on the ground and not moving. The hero ceases to control his emotions. The power around him spreads like a thundercloud. Travelers from Urim are stunned by the strength and power such a young man has. The aura of an incredible killer glows around the guy. Even the White Moon is impressed by the power the stranger has. He was able to intrigue the old man, who had seen and defeated many strong warriors. But the strength of a guy is not a sufficient argument for a man. He considers himself indestructible, and the technique of his mastery is ideal for defeating any enemy. Members of the Moon Clan, to which the elder belongs, are known for combining martial arts with witchcraft, and they also absorb toxins from poisonous reptiles and even mushrooms to later use in battle. This clan's methods are truly cruel, and because of the old man's special skills, he is often called the Poison Demon. The White Moon prepared for battle. He already wanted to use his talents on this boy who appeared on the battlefield at the wrong time. The man swung his hand towards the hero, and a poisonous snake flew out of his sleeve. She tightly grabbed the guy's hand in a ring, but Wai-Yung didn't even look surprised. He was just furious. Several poisonous magical cobras had already flown from the other arm of the White Moon. The snakes had sparkling eyes and hissed in flight, as if they were real. The old man in the hat opened his mouth in surprise. Watching the attack of the poisonous demon, he knew about this technique, when from the bite of one of the 3 snakes, a person dies in 3 stages. Cobras attacked Wai-Chung from different sides, and the guy began to defend himself from their bites. Just a few swings of his hands, and 2 snakes fell at the guy's feet, cut in half. It was impressive. However, the 3rd snake sank its sharp teeth into the guy's hand. The hero did not even notice how this happened. The red-bearded man whispered in Wai-Yung's ear that the guy had found his end. No one had ever been saved from the bite of such a cobra. With effort, Wai-Chung pulled out the long fangs of the viper from his wrist, blood gushing from the wound. The man was angry and tore his familiar in half without resorting to a weapon. Meanwhile, the White Moon decided that it was time to attack the boy from behind in order to speed up the process of his death. The old man again used his signature technique, which made it possible to combine martial arts with poisons. Wai-Chung was wounded in the shoulder, thigh, and leg. The guy staggered, but was able to stand in place. The enemy grinned and showed his long sharp nail. The old man told the guy that even a drop of poison entering the body would immediately kill him. The great monk was indignant at such a perverted technique. He did not recognize dishonest methods of fighting. Meanwhile, the poison had already begun its effect on the hero. He grabbed his head and groaned from the wild pain that spread throughout his body. The guy remembered that Hori's bottle contained all the poisons that exist in the world. During his training, the hero learned to work with poisons, dividing them into components and taking them, so he already knew all the pain that could arise from poisoning with anything. The guy knew that severe pain could not be avoided. He trained for this for almost 50 years. The only effective way to dull the agony is to endure the pain. When the second phase begins and the next poison enters the body, it itself neutralizes the effect of the first. Everyone who practices demonic martial arts with poisons is not susceptible to poisons, but not to their digestion by the body. Wai-Yung has overcome the side effects and regained control of his body. No poison can kill him, but no one knows about it. With all his might, the guy hit the old man in the jaw, and he flew several meters away, surprised by such agility of the unknown. The White Moon wanted to know what martial arts the young man was trained in, since the poisonous demon technique did not cause him any damage. But Wai-Yung was not in the mood to talk with the scoundrel who tried to kill him in such a vile way, so he decided to end this fight as soon as possible. The guy used the technique of 100 demonic fists, directing their blows across the man's entire body. The old man was beaten thoroughly by these fists, but he was still able not only to fight, but also to provoke the guy with words. In fact, the damage from the fists was noticeable, but the white moon was not going to lose to some youngster. He just didn't understand how the guy had the strength to perform such techniques after he was poisoned by the most powerful of poisons. Then the man decided to fight for life and death. The old man's hands were girded with steel brass knuckles with long, needle-like blades. The white moon took a combat position in which it would be convenient for him to attack the enemy. He attacked first, but Wai Zhang managed to jump high before the old man's weapon touched the guy. But the man was persistent and patient. He carefully watched the young man and at any moment was ready to strike another blow. When Wai Yung landed, the old man jumped up to him with lightning speed and pierced the guy's shoulder right through. The travelers watching the battle were in shock. They could not believe that the guy who had defeated the entire Dam clan could die at the hands of a poisonous demon. Wai Yung was terrified. She had just gotten married, and so many trials had already befallen her fate. The girl understood that the loss of her husband meant the death of everyone who was now present in the village. The white moon suddenly froze in place. He saw in front of him not a face distorted by pain, but an ordinary piece of wood. The man looked in bewilderment at the log from which he had just taken out his sharp claws. The piece of wood shimmered with energy, and the old man realized that they had just played an illusion with him. Wai Yung stood behind the white moon and grinned. He could attack his opponent while he did not notice him, but it was dishonest. The man turned around and made his furious strike again. This time he hoped not to miss. However, a piece of wood was again discovered under his hands. This was already beginning to anger the old man. Wai Zhang still stood calmly behind the white moon and watched it struggle with the log. The man slowly approached the guy, who did not even think of running away, and pointed his hand with brass knuckles in his direction. Unexpectedly, the hero grabbed this hand with his own and sharply directed it at the enemy's chest. Looking at his wound, the man was surprised. After all, he was not so skilled in the practice of absorbing poisons. Being only one who can use poisons, the white moon suffered from them as well as any of its victims. The man's body exploded and fell to the ground in front of the guy who defeated the poisonous demon. Wai Yung thought that the techniques that Yua Ji left behind are beyond the imagination of the average person, even if he practices martial arts. The guy heard Wai Yung sob behind him. The red-bearded man held the girl tightly, covering her mouth with his huge palm. The man understood that he had never met anyone with such strength as this stranger, so he was not going to die so easily. Before he died, the bold bandit decided to take the life of the girl he was going to torture. Wai Yung screamed in pain, and a haze of red energy from the bearded man formed around her. This sight infuriated Wai Zhang. No one had the right to touch his wife, much less harm her. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave comments to help the new video come out as soon as possible. Have a great day.